Every woman who touched the Raven King died within 7 days. Some turned to ice in their sleep. Some stopped breathing while whispering his name. One clawed her own eyes out after seeing the darkness living inside him. For 3 centuries, the kingdom of Noctis watched queens, servants, and lovers perish the moment they loved Elian Vare. So the king stopped allowing anyone near him. No touch, no warmth, no love. Then one night, a servant girl walked into his throne room and survived his touch. That was the moment the curse began to panic.
The first thing Mira noticed about the fortress was the silence. Not normal silence, dead silence. No birds sang above the black towers. No servants laughed in the halls. Even the fireplaces crackled softly, as if afraid of disturbing something ancient lurking inside the walls. People whispered only one thing there: the Raven King. Mira had heard the stories long before arriving in Noctis. A cursed ruler, a monster wearing a human face, a king whose lovers died screaming. But stories never frightened her much anymore. Not after the plague took her mother. Not after watching her younger brother freeze to death during the winter famine, while nobles locked their grain stores behind iron gates. Fear stopped meaning anything after enough suffering.
That was why she accepted the servant contract. Either she survived the cursed castle, or she died somewhere warm. The throne room doors groaned open, and for the first time, Mira saw him. Elian sat upon a throne carved from black stone and raven bones, cloaked in shadows so heavy they almost looked alive. His silver eyes were fixed on the court below him with cold indifference. Beautiful, terrifying, exhausted. That was what surprised her most. The king did not look evil. He looked tired. Then his gaze lifted toward her. The entire room changed. A violent pressure slammed through Elian's chest so suddenly his fingers crushed the armrest beneath him. Crack. Stone shattered. The curse awakened instantly. Inside his veins, darkness writhed like starving snakes. Her. After 300 years, his mate had finally appeared. And the curse was already hungry for her. Elian avoided her for 13 days. He assigned guards to protect her from a distance, moved her quarters farther from his own, ordered servants never to leave her alone. He told himself it was caution, but the truth was uglier. He was obsessed. Every night, ravens watched her through castle windows and returned to him carrying fragments of her life. She sings while cleaning. She feeds stray cats behind the kitchens. She cries in her sleep. That last one destroyed him. Because Elian knew suffering, he recognized it instantly in others. One evening, Mira entered the forbidden library, searching for winter records. She climbed a ladder toward a high shelf when the wood suddenly cracked beneath her. She slipped. A strong hand caught her wrist. The moment Elian touched her, the curse exploded awake. Dark frost burst across the bookshelves. Candles died instantly. And Mira saw it, not with her eyes, with her soul. A creature living inside him, massive, starving, wrapped around his heart like black chains. Elian released her immediately, stumbling backward like he had touched fire. "Don't," he said sharply. Mira stared at him, shaken, but alive. Alive. That had never happened before. Elian looked horrified. "You should fear me." "Why?" His jaw tightened. Then slowly, the shadows around his body began moving on their own, like claws. "You saw it, didn't you?" Mira swallowed carefully. "The thing inside you." For the first time in centuries, the Raven King looked afraid. "It speaks to me," he whispered. "It wears the voices of dead women. Every woman who ever loved me still lives inside the curse. I hear them every night." Mira's breath caught. Elian stepped backward into darkness. "I do not kill my lovers quickly, Mira. The curse feeds on love itself. The more they love me, the slower they die." Silence filled the library. Then Mira asked the one question nobody else ever had. "Who cursed you?" Elian froze. Not how. Who? Finally, he answered. "My father."
300 years earlier, King Valor Veyer feared losing his son to love, so he made a pact with an ancient shadow entity. The curse would protect the bloodline from weakness. No woman would ever control the Raven King. Any love directed toward Elian would be devoured before it could threaten the throne. But curses evolve. Over centuries, it became something worse. Hungry, sentient, possessive. And now, it wanted Mira. That night, Elian entered her chambers determined to end it. "You leave before sunrise," he ordered coldly. Mira stood from beside the fireplace. "And if I refuse?" His silver eyes darkened. "Then you die." "Maybe I'm tired of surviving." The words hit harder than any blade. Elian stared at her carefully and finally understood. Mira was not fearless. She was broken. "There's nothing waiting for me outside this castle," she admitted quietly. "No family, no home, no future." The curse stirred happily inside him. Loneliness, recognized loneliness. Elian moved toward her despite every instinct screaming not to. "You do not understand what loving me becomes." "Then show me." Wrong answer. The shadows exploded. Darkness engulfed the chamber walls. The curse finally stopped hiding. A monstrous silhouette rose behind Elian. Enormous wings, hollow eyes, chains twisting through smoke and bone. Mira could barely breathe. The entity spoke using dozens of female voices at once. "He is ours." Elian dropped to one knee in agony, black veins spreading across his throat. "Run!" he roared. But Mira saw something beneath the horror. Not evil, pain. The curse was not protecting Elian. It was consuming him.
Slowly, every year, every loss, every death had fed it. And for the first time in centuries, someone saw the king instead of the monster.
Mira walked toward him. The entity screamed, "Don't touch him!" But she grabbed Elian's face with both hands anyway. And suddenly she saw everything. Every dead lover. Every lonely century. Every suicidal thought he buried. Every night he begged the curse to kill him instead. Mira began crying instantly. Not from fear, from grief. "You stayed alive for all this?" she whispered. Elian broke. The curse attacked immediately. Dark chains erupted around Mira's body, crushing the air from her lungs. Frost spread beneath her feet. Blood streamed from her nose as the entity shrieked in rage. "He cannot be loved!" Elian's eyes widened in horror. "Mira, let go!" But she refused. Instead, she pulled him closer and kissed him. The curse detonated. The fortress shook violently. Every mirror shattered. Outside, the kingdom vanished beneath a storm of black snow. Mira felt the curse entering her body. Cold, ancient, endless. It wanted to hollow her out from the inside. And for one terrible moment, she understood why the others died. The curse fed on selfish love, possession, obsession, fear. But Elian's love had changed. Somewhere across centuries of suffering, he stopped wanting to own love. He only wanted someone to survive him. That was the flaw. That was why the curse could finally break. Elian realized it too late. To destroy the entity permanently, someone had to willingly carry its pain. Forever. "No," he whispered. Mira smiled weakly through tears. "You carried it alone long enough." Silver light erupted from her chest. The darkness screamed as Mira pulled the curse into herself. Every chain, every shadow, every dead voice, gone. The entity collapsed inward violently before dissolving into ash and moonlight. Then, silence. Complete silence. For the first time in 300 years, Elian could no longer hear the dead. But Mira collapsed. Spring arrived in Noctis overnight. Ice melted across the kingdom. Dead forests bloomed again. Sunlight touched the black fortress for the first time in centuries. And in the center of it all, the Raven King held Mira in trembling arms beside the ruined throne. Alive, barely. A silver crescent now glowed beneath her skin, directly above her heart. Not the curse, its scar, its memory, its cost. Elian brushed shaking fingers across her face. You saved me. Mira gave a faint smile. No, she whispered softly. I shared you. And for the first time in his immortal life, the Raven King cried.